Hey everyone, this is Rush Hendricks with Rush SPT, and this is the first video of a group of 5 in this series about the transition from the undergraduate studies to professional studies in PT school. So the overview is in this same playlist, but this is going into depth on each of the 5 topics. So the first topic is the faculty and how I felt like it changed in my interaction with them from undergrad to PT school. So the first thing I want to talk about is the continued importance of communication. So an example of this is when I was an undergrad playing football, our academic advisors would always really stress to us the importance of going to the professor and introducing yourself on the first day of class or the first day of the semester. So I always kind of blew that off in my freshman, sophomore, even some into my junior year. But the older I got, the more I realized it was important to really put a name with the face, that they knew who I was, and that enabled me to feel more comfortable, to be more motivated to go to see them if I ever had a problem or was interested in something they were teaching and I wanted to know more about it. So I feel like that is exponentially important once you get to PT school. And I feel like it's a lot easier to go to your mentors and your professors now because you are in such close proximity with them. Many schools, I know my university is, we're in very close quarters with our professors and with our labs and lecture rooms. So take advantage of their open door policies. Go and talk to them face to face. Seek out those mentorships and those relationships with your professors to enable you to not ever get into trouble or not have a resource that you can fall back on if a problem ever arises. So I talked about communication. The second thing I want to talk about is the difference in really that dynamic of how they see us as PT students. I mentioned this in the overview, but I want to say it again just to really stress it. But one of my professors said this, and it really registered with me that they're not training and teaching an assortment of students going into this field and that field. They're training their future colleagues. We're going to have a physical therapy degree just like them. We're going to treat patients through physical therapy just like they're doing right now. So they're really training us to do what they're doing. They've been there. They know the problems that might arise, and that enables us to fall back on their expertise and on their advice throughout the curriculum, not just in academics, but if we ever have a problem on a clinical, we can immediately fall right back on that because they've probably and most likely been in the same situation. So they really are going to be lifelong resources. So enable yourself to develop those resources by the third point I want to make, and that is by making mentors of your faculty. So they did it for us when we came in. Each faculty member had 5 to 6 students that they mentored or they were assigned to mentor once you came into the program. So what does that mean? If you ever got into academic trouble or some discipline action needed to be taken, the first line was that you went and saw your faculty mentor to talk about your problems, to talk about the problem you were having. Well, I want to urge you as a student, if they do that, great. If they don't, that might even sometimes be better. You can develop your own mentorships, your own relationships with your faculty. So how to do this? I feel like it's important to not limit yourself, like I talked about in the Trashing Tunnel Vision video, not limit yourself as far as what field that you may want to go into. But if you do have an interest and you do find yourself developing that interest throughout the curriculum, then find the mentors and find the faculty and the professors that have those specializations in those areas. So you might have a faculty member with the OCS, with the neuro clinical specialty, whether it be women's health, whatever you're interested in. Many faculties have one of each or multiples of each of those fields that really can guide students that want to go into similar fields. So find those professors and really develop your communication first, and then develop those relationships where you feel comfortable going to them with any problem that arises and any questions you have on how to be successful in that area of PT. So those are a couple points, short and sweet, but if you have any other questions, let me know, and stay tuned for the rest of this series on the transition.